Without credit or your cash, get that bag.
Good afternoon, depends on where you are. Good morning or good afternoon. Welcome to today's Flipman's Daily Live on Wholesaling Real Estate Q&A, aka Fliptainment. We're here to answer questions about getting into real estate without using your cash or credit. And we're having an issue with Instagram, but that's cool. We'll figure it out. Test it. Okay, so we're live on YouTube, we're live on Instagram, we're live on TikTok, Facebook, Periscope, and Twitch. So again, Flipman's Daily Live, Wholesaling Real Estate Q&A, aka Fliptainment. Remember, you can access the same contract I've been using since 2003 by simply doing a search on YouTube for Flipman 2021 contract. If you want to partner with me and you have a property under contract, you're dealing directly with the owner, it's a great deal and it's off market and you can't find a cash buyer, we can partner on that. We can possibly place a cash buyer. Just go to dealylater.com, submit your property. You'll see the cities that we can probably do something in. So again, and on the CRM yesterday, I was premature. My web guys wasn't ready. So we're only a day or two out. So if you tried to fill it out, you didn't get the setup email, that's all on me. So I took the video down, so I'll refresh that and put that back up in the next day or so, and it'll be ready to go. But
Chief Vice said, Flipman, Coach 12 said, how do you wholesale land?
All right, question from Instagram is, how do you wholesale land? Well, once you have an actual motivated seller and a cash buyer both under contract, the process is the same. The problem with land is, or what could be a problem, is that land is sometimes hard to get a value on. Not really an ARV because there's no repair done, but it's hard to get a value on. There's other factors that go into it. So assume you can get a value, assume you can get it extremely cheap, 50% or less, then the process is the same. One of the good things about it, in most cases, it's something you don't have to show. They just can go at their own leisure. The door is already open unless there's a fence around it or something. But so boom. So if you got a buyer and seller in place on the contract, the process is the same.
Stand Tall for Life said, is ListSource a good site to pull lists?
Stand Tall for Life asks, is ListSource a good place to pull a list? Yeah, it's a place you can pull a list, but it's like asking McDonald's, does Burger King sell hamburger? Yeah, they do. But DailyLater AK PropStream has better hamburgers because it does a lot more than just pull a list. But you can pull a list from there for sure.
Chief Vice asked again, what's my deal missing to make it a great deal? I wanted to JV with you on that deal I sent earlier.
I don't know, man. Can you imagine how many people send me deals? I don't know. You'd have to refresh me on the numbers. I don't know which one you're talking about, my man.
Steven on TikTok said, what's your opinion on overseas virtual assistants? Do you use them and have they been successful?
Yeah, I'm currently using one right now that's working out well so far. So yeah, if you can find a good virtual assistant or assistants, most definitely.
Easy Does It on TikTok asked, if a property is on Zillow for sale by owner, is that considered on market still?
Well, before that question, someone asked overseas virtual assistants, are they good to use? So that's what I was answering. And someone just asked, properties that are for sale by owner on Zillow, are those considered off market? No, my definition of what's off market is that if I Google the address, it's not for sale anywhere on the internet. In that case, it would be for sale on the internet. So it wouldn't be considered off market in my definition.
Do we need a real estate license to wholesale?
Question is, do you need a real estate license to wholesale? Currently, the only states that I'm aware of are Illinois and Kansas, and I think the city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, you need an actual license to wholesale real estate. And you can get around that, you know, if you be creative, which I've said it 1,000 times on here. So,
what size Bandit signs do you use?
Someone asked, what size Bandit signs do I use? And the question before that, I don't know if I said was, do you need a real estate license to wholesale? These are 18 by 24 portrait. Most people do theirs like this, which is landscape. I copped this from one of my students locally. I see you could put more message on there, really not lose any size on the main message, which is we buy houses, but you could add more, you know, valuable content there, you know, website, obviously the phone number, even a tagline, you can add and land on there, so.
Lil E on TikTok asked, how do you manage your time? I have so much going on right now and I want to do so much, but I don't know how to.
Well, time management is everything, but normally most people have enough to do it. The question was, how do you manage your time? That was from TikTok. So yeah, only you know what your work hours are. We're gonna give you 8 hours to sleep. Then everything else, that's 16 in the course of a day, normally for most people. So you still got 8 hours left. So what are you doing with those other 8 hours? Even if you worked 12 hours a day and you slept, and it's still 4 hours, what are you doing with those other 4 hours? And that's, you know, so you know, only you can answer that. And then it comes down to how important and how organized you're going to be to make sure you're using the best the uses of that time. Yeah, time wisely. Yeah.
And then how do I get in contact with homeowners when their information isn't up to date?
If the information isn't up to date, and you're targeting a particular property, one of the things you could do, when you say the information not up to date, that makes it more difficult. Now, there are different levels of skip tracing. The skip tracing that I use and promote, skip to flip, and the question was what, I think I repeated. And it depends on what situation. If the house is just vacant, I'm going to go ask the neighbors, right? A lot of times they're going to know that individual, of that individual, and they're going to know how to reach out to them. Other than that, you're going to have to go up to a next level type of skip tracing. May cost you $15, $20 to get that information.
All right. Vanna Williams from YouTube said, good afternoon. Tara Stewart said, hey, mom. First question,
What's up, ladies?
John Doe from YouTube said, what are your top 2 to 3 questions that you ask the seller to see if they are really motivated in selling?
All right. John Doe said from YouTube, said, what are your top 2 or 3 questions that you ask a seller to see if they are really motivated to sell? In your opinion, what's the overall condition of the property? Why are you selling? Then paying all cash and closing quickly. What's the least amount you'll sell your property for as is?
William Garcia said, good afternoon.
What's up, William?
Fabian Martinez said, do you do dual agency?
Fabian Martinez say, do I do dual agencies? I guess he's referring to real estate agents. I rarely deal with real estate agents on the residential side. If I'm going to do a deal in my state, and the agent can act as a dual agent, meaning they can represent you and the seller, that's the only way I'm going to pursue it, because I want to give that agent an opportunity to make 100% commission, and hopefully they'll realize my offer may still allow them to make more if I brought my own agent to the table.
This one came from Facebook user. It says, how do we wholesale pre-foreclosures from Zillow?
All right, someone from Facebook says, how do we wholesale pre-foreclosures from Zillow? Remember, if you want to get pushed to the front of the line and ask your question live on the stream here, you go to flippinar.com. That's FLIPPINAR. Just remove the G and add an AR.com, and we'll push you to the front of the line with your actual questions. But how do you wholesale pre-foreclosures from Zillow? Well, it's really just pre-foreclosures. Well, first you got to be able to contact that person. I know people, when they hear the word foreclosures, they just automatically think it's a secret. They don't want to know about it. It's a great deal. But on a pre-foreclosure, if you don't know what that means the person that owns the property is still the owner. It's just they're behind in payments, and the lender has started the foreclosure process, right? So there can be an opportunity there to find a motivated seller. But the only reason properties go to the full foreclosure process and the bank or lender takes it back is because they may have been motivated, but not that motivated. So I'm just trying to give you the landscape of how that works. So first, you got to be able to contact the person. Now, remember, you're not the only one trying to contact them just for this reason. Obviously, the lender is calling them, but if you're not paying that bill, you're probably not paying some other bills, and they have a lot of bill collectors calling them. So probably getting them on the phone is going to be very difficult. Not impossible, but very difficult. Next, obviously, you can send them something in the mail. I would send the FedEx or UPS to increase your chances of getting read. So assume they do reach out to you. Now, there has to be enough equity off the top for it to just be a straight wholesale deal, meaning what they owe and the price that works for you. If that's not the situation, now you got to go through a short sale process, right? A short sale is basically the owner is reaching back out to the lender who they got the loan from and asking them, hey, you see, I can't pay this. Will you discount this so I can sell it and we can both go our own ways or whatever? So with that process, that could easily take anywhere from 30 to 120 days just to get an answer back from the bank. Hey, this is what we will accept. And they may only take off 5,000. May work, may not. More than likely, it's not going to be enough. If they take off maybe 100,000, it's a $300,000 house. Now they only owe 100, assuming they owed 200 before. Okay, you got a deal. So, but you said so with all that, so assuming all of that works well, now they're going to control the actual closing process. So you have to have the right type of buyer to work with you on that, because they're not going to allow you to assign it and double close it. Well, you probably double close it. It just depends on the title company, but more than likely not. So in reality, again, that buyer is going to have to pretty much purchase the property, pay you or whatever. So if you can get through all of that, boom, pre-foreclosure is your thing. Oh, Christina, you may want to try to reconnect. She's trying to get pushed to the front of the line. She asked somebody. Okay, all right. All right, we have Jennifer Miner here. Remove the comment.
Good afternoon, Ty.
Hey, what's going on, Jennifer?
Nothing much. Quick question for you. Are you planning on doing any type of seminars here in Birmingham?
Oh, you're in Birmingham?
Yes. Well, I'm in Hueytown, but I've been following you for like a couple of years now. So,
really not my thing. To answer your question, I don't have any intent on it, but you never know or whatever. I can't just say no, because you know what the issue with a seminar with me, that means it has to be put together, right? so that's what the problem. Now, somebody came to me and said, hey, Ty, we're gonna do everything. All you gotta do is just show up and do your thing or whatever, and whatever, I'm probably gonna have to say here's a check. But that's probably what's going to happen. Maybe a check is not involved, but I'm just saying somebody would have to put it together, and I have to be cool with them being able to put it together too. So, so to answer your question, that's not my intent or whatever. I'm not saying no, but nothing in the works right now. But a seminar would be hard to pull off right now anyway.
COVID?
Just because of people being able to gather in certain places, unless we're going to be out in a wide football field or something. And, but yes,
In the
ma'am.
future, it's a possibility.
Ma'am?
In the future, it's a possibility.
Well, yeah, I'm open to it, but a lot of things would have to happen, because I'm not going to put it together. I just can tell you that. I don't have the experience to put something like that together. If I did, I want to do it. Try to do it decent where people, I think they could get something out of it, have a good experience and some value, and can take what I got to say and run with it and make some money, which is, the main objective. So.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I guess I'll just keep following and viewing here.
Yeah. You don't like these? This is a seminar here, isn't it?
I mean, so many distractions when you're looking on your phone and on your laptop. Now, if you have a person in the person's presence, you have full attention. So
I got you.
Time, so that's why I was asking.
Oh, okay. You may whenever I was in Hewitttown Saturday when one of my buddies rode over there to formerly known as Brian's Seafood, giving them a plug. It's called Brian's Shrimp Company, I think now.
I know you across, right next door to the church and right across from the dentist office. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and we get over there and they said you only can do takeout. We were going in there to sit down. We wasn't mentally prepared for eating in the car. You know what I'm saying? Because we drove for a good distance, to get over there and stuff. So we ended up at Jubilee Joe's or whatever and ate. But so I was just over there Saturday. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I definitely continue to follow you. It's the hesitation. I've heard you say several times you can get out there and you can make all the mistakes you want, but you learn from them. So I guess that's just the starting point.
Yeah, the mistake part of it, I get it. I guess I'm not afraid of mistakes. See, my life is full of them. But it doesn't have to be perfect to make money. That's one of the great things about it. And I know that everybody wants to be perfect and say the right thing to sellers. But if you can ever create the mindset that I got $10 million in the bank, I don't care if they do it or don't. I go to the next person. That goes a long way with the mistake part of it. You know what I'm saying? And you're only going to get just good at it because you're going to talk to a lot of sellers, go through a free transaction. Normally, when someone just goes through one transaction, they're like, dang, this is not, I don't want to say it's easy, but that was simple. I like to use the word simple or whatever. Now all transactions are not just cut and dry, whatever, but I'm just saying from the point you getting a check in your hand and seeing, oh, wow, this is real. That's the main thing. So remember, though, the business boils down to marketing your butt off. That's all it. You'll stumble into deals, even if you don't even know what you're doing, right? If you're talking to enough people that want to sell a piece of real estate, mainly off market if possible, you'll stumble into a payday. You know what I'm saying? So, you just had a personal seminar, at least a motivational speech.
Right. I just may have to go and break down and get your training. Where do I locate the information again? I have so many notes.
Well, the good thing about it, you're local, so you would have more of a hands-on approach, especially if it's something, you're just going to have more of a hands-on approach, just period, or whatever, because you are local. If you're interested in it, just text or call me or whatever. You got my number? All over. She'll throw it up on the screen here in a second. So,
all right.
Please, anyone that's watching this, don't call right now. This is live. So just hit me up. We can discuss.
Thank you so much, Ty. Thank you for all you do. Appreciate it.
All right, no problem at all. Thank you for joining us. I really appreciate it. So boom. So that's what happens when you go to the front of the line. So I need to get on YouTube.
Nathan Nate on Instagram asked, how do you get around the license part with wholesaling in Philadelphia?
Oh, I knew I threw it out there, so I know the question was going to go. So someone asked, how do they get around having to have a license to wholesale in the city of Philadelphia, right? All right. Obviously, we're all trying to stay legal here. I'm not trying to put out any information to get people in any kind of legal issues, civil or criminal, of course. Basically, what I would do, I would find a struggling agent in that market, right? And someone obviously you talk to and you build some trust or whatever, and we would partner and we would create a marketing agency, right? Or a web development company, but it's just called a marketing agent. It's just one of the things that you do. And each time you all get a property under contract, what I would do is register a domain name for the name of that town. I mean, the name of that property. Like if it's 123mainstreet.com, or it could be .net or whatever, it doesn't matter. All right, so then I'll create a free website. There are plenty of services out there that offer free websites. We're going to do a TikTok on that here the next day or so, I guess. And I would just put photos and videos of that property on the website. So say we're going to make $10,000 on that assignment fee that the broker has it under contract for. Guess what? I'm going to sell that website to that broker for $5,000. They bought that website from me. People sell domain names, not even a website, for millions of dollars. You know, the domain name is the 123mainstreet.com. It's called a domain name. But tell me what's illegal about that? You can sell a website whatever you want to. Boom, there you go.
So the Verified Buffalo on TikTok asks, I know people say to use True Search, but when I only have the address, how do I find the phone number?
All right. Someone from TikTok says people say use True People Search when you're trying to find someone's phone number. But in order to use True People Search or any skip tracing service, in most cases, you're going to have the person's name and their actual address. You're going to have that or whatever. But you should be able to get their name. If you have the person's address, you can get their name. Even if you just go through a free site like the county website, probably on the tax side of it, the tax portion of it, and you can get who's paying taxes on that property. Normally, that's the owner, the decision maker. So,
Christina Haynes on TikTok said, do you have to be a personal guarantor when you're trying to get business credit?
All right, Christina Haynes says, do you have to be a personal guarantor, or grantor, whatever the word, if you're trying to get business credit? This is about wholesaling real estate without using cash to credit. I don't know. I'm not sure, Kristen. I'm not trying to be funny. But I got an answer for you. Go to YouTube and do a search for Flipman Business Credit. I interviewed some guys that are experts at it. They can answer all your questions for you. So just go to YouTube and do a search for Flipman Business Credit Lines.
Missy on Instagram asks, what if a house has been sitting empty, the owners are dead, auction has no further info, how can I find out who owns it?
All right, she said Christy? Missy from Instagram says she found the property, the owners are dead, and PropStream, aka DealYourLater.com, doesn't have any more info on it. Again, I said it earlier, is that first I would just ask the neighbors, right? That doesn't work. You can use a site called Intellus.com, INTELIUS, Intellus, I think that's how it's spelled, .com. It only costs you less than $20. You can do a skip trace on it, and it's going to pull up potential or possible relatives of that individual. So now you would probably have to go to the next level and skip trace those relatives and start to reach out to them to see who has the say-so on that property. You know, that's what I would do.
Mika on Instagram said, is wholesaling commercial property the same as residential?
Mika on Instagram says, is wholesaling commercial property the same as it is as residential? Whenever you have a seller in place under contract and a buyer under contract, yes, it's the same as wholesaling houses. The difference is the in-between, evaluating the property, the numbers, the process, the time it normally takes to close a deal. That's what's totally different. See, with commercial, with houses, you just have one thing, houses. With commercial, you have different types of properties and they're evaluated differently. You have self-storage, you have hotel motels, you have retail space, office space, medical space, multifamily, industrial, warehousing, that's what I'm trying to say. Raw land, raw commercial land. So single tenant, triple net, so you have different types of properties and they're evaluated them. That's the huge difference than houses and commercial real estate. But if you got a buyer and you got a seller in place under contract, then that part of it's the same on how you get paid.
Where's a good place to look for deals? I've looked on Zillow and such with no luck.
Suave, what was my name? Suave Guru says, what's a good place to find deals? He's looked on Zillow, where else? Face and such, or whatever. Well, that's possible to find deals that way, Suave. I think I said it right. But that's probably one of the hardest ways to find deals, right? Because they're already advertised. One of the reasons that you're valuable to cash buyers / and other investors is because you found something that they couldn't find themselves. If it's on Zillow, that's there for the taking. All right. The reason why we talk about, when I say we, people like Max Maxwell, Jared Norton, Brent Daniels, I don't know, I'm missing a lot of people. I'm just throwing a couple names out there. The reason we talk about text messaging, Bandit signs, ringless voicemail, cold calling, driving for dollars, direct mail, other wholesalers. The reason we talk about all that stuff is to generate daily leads. It makes it so much easier when people are calling you or you're reaching out directly to someone on a property that's not even for sale than just trying to look on Zillow or Facebook Marketplace. I'm just telling you. Now, you say, well, I don't have any money to do that. Okay. Well, I don't know what your situation is, but it's hard for me to wrap my mind around not being able to come up with $300 to $500 to start a marketing campaign. Do you have a job? Can you get an extra job? Can you borrow the money? Tell them you pay them back 3 times their money. It's just hard for me to wrap my mind around that not being possible. How can you tell? Okay, what was the name? Vanna? That's how I said it. How can you tell in PropStream, aka D later, do you have a high demand in your market? Well, basically just by the sold properties. You can pull a list for a particular zip code, or you can use the what is it called? The tool that you can create boundaries around certain areas, which may include multiple zip codes, and that will allow you to then do a filter where you can show what has sold over a certain time frame or whatever. And once you create that, you can tell in one particular zip code how many properties have sold in that zip code. You may have to, it may take a little time, and you have to break down an actual Excel spreadsheet, choose a zip code, choose a time frame, and go and just sold properties in that time frame. Boom, 27 sold. Do another, 30 sold, 1 sold, and then before then, you'll know or have an idea what are the hotter zip codes in your market.
Okay. This person, Jacob Miller, he's trying to do the live for his device.
Okay, Jacob Miller, for some reason your device is not connected. Remember, if you want to get pushed to the front of the line on your questions, go to Flippinar.com. Flippinar is spelled Flippinar. It's just the word flipping. Remove the G, add the AR.com, and you can ask your question on the live stream here on video if you're not shy like me.
Okay, so this one says we buy the houses on a property that tear down through a clump.
Okay, someone that's asking on YouTube on a property that's a tear down, do you comp it differently? Well, the thing about it is it in an area where new construction is going on? right? That's the first question. If it isn't, then a lot in an area where there's no new development can be very difficult to move. And you really can't even put a value on those in a lot of cases. Very difficult, beyond the scope of what I know. Let me just say that. But in the areas where there is new construction going on, then you just basically know what the houses are selling for brand new in that area and try to get that land at 30% or lower. That lot is 30% or lower. I'm taking that from my man Jamil. You know, that's the way he evaluates
This
yourself.
was from Lloyd Garcia. He said, "Do you use any mobile apps, websites to contact owners? I'm considering using Deal Machine, but open to any suggestions."
Well, that's one of those McDonald's, Burger King situations. And I'm a partner / reseller of PropStream, and you can access it through my site, dealulator.com. Not on my chest today, normally it is. So we have an app that's very good. So I'm definitely going to recommend Dealulator, the Dealulator app over anything. So, well, PropStream app.
This one is from Ash O. She said, "Does it make sense to skip trace with PropStream? I've seen the step-by-step video, just not sure if the video I sold than PropStream adding a skip trace feature."
Hold on, let's see.
Oh, I'm not sure if the video is older than PropStream adding a skip trace feature.
Okay, Ash O. I said, does it make sense to skip trades with PropStream? I've seen the step-by-step video, just not sure if the video is older than PropStream. Okay, all right. Well, okay, within PropStream, skip tracing is available. All right, and I promote that, but I also have a relationship with Skip to Flip, Skip Vault, right? And so the reason I do both is I try not to conflict if I can when I'm, promote services, whatever affiliate relationships or reseller relationship is some people don't have PropStream. They can't afford that amount each month, but they still can, afford, pay as you go skip tracing. So I'm giving you the option, I try to give you the option to do one if you can't do the other or whatever. So hopefully that makes sense.
All right. Fabian Martinez asked, "Do you work with listing agents to find on-market properties to wholesale?"
Fabian Martinez said, "Do you work with listing agents to find on-market properties that are listed for sale all over the internet to find wholesale deals?" No, I don't. I don't.
I said, Asenio, if I pull a list from PropStream off-market properties, if I pull a list from PropStream of off-market properties and I look it up on Zillow, and Zillow, is there no agent is considered an off-market deal? Do you base on what you said a few minutes ago?
Yeah, on Zillow, if it's for sale, it's going to say it's for sale, whether it's with an agent or for sale by owner. It's going to say it's for sale.
All right. DD Gov said, "Can you explain the process of sending the seller and cash buyer contracts to an investor-friendly title company and how to close without putting down money?"
Okay, Dee Gold says, "Can you explain the process of sending the seller and cash buyer contracts to investor-friendly title company and how to close without putting down money?" All right. Well, I actually explained it in the video, but I'll try to give a Cliff Note version of it. That's the right term. Well, you have contract A with the seller. You have contract B with the buyer. Now, what I use is a closing detail sheet, whether I've done business with that title company attorney, period. Because what it does is it lets them know who's the seller, who's the buyer, what's the sales price, who's paying what, and more importantly, who's receiving what, aka my assignment fee or anyone else on there, and also identify who's paying what percentage of the closing costs. Okay, so as far as being able to do a deal without putting any money down, it's possible to put someone in the contract without earnest money. Yeah, most definitely. But I'm just letting you know do it the proper way is to put down earnest money. You know, normally when people are motivated to sell a piece of real estate cheap, they don't trip about the amount of the earnest money. Sometimes, but most times they don't trip about it. You can come up with $10. I've done $1 before. So $100, even if you have to borrow it, you know what I'm saying? And then now the other way around that, I guess, is possible is you'll have a due diligence period. If you have a due diligence period, which there is a field there on my contract for that, then you may negotiate to put the earnest money deposit up after you have your due diligence period has expired or whatever. So, but normally that's not even an issue.
All right, we got a person coming live.
What's going on? You say Gwen?
Yes, hey, how are you?
Oh, I'm good. What's going on?
So I have a question in reference to property that has fire damage. How do you assess that differently in terms of the repairs?
Okay, good, very good question.
Fire damage is only in the kitchen.
Okay, so Gwen is asking how do you come up with the repair cost on a fire damaged property? At the end of the day, there's still repairs, and it just depends on how extensive the fire damage was. Is it just smoke damage, or like the roof, it burnt through the roof, or what's the situation?
No, it didn't burn through the roof. It was primarily damaged right to the kitchen area that leads to like a back door. That's the only area where there was actual fire damage. When the fire department went in, I guess they were making sure that there were no fire in the walls. So they kind of damaged the ceiling above, in the room above. But other than that, it's just like issues related to the smoke.
Okay, do you know the ARV on that property?
The ARV is between 165, 170.
Okay, what's the price they want to sell it for?
52.
Okay, do you know the square footage of it?
2,000 square feet.
Okay, so just off the top, I'm good, you got all your numbers, that's what's up. Okay, so just off the top, you know, it's not livable. You would say $40 a square foot, but with fire damage, I would probably go up to $50 a square feet. So you're going to spend $100 grand in that property, right? Let me say 50. You said 2,000 square feet.
Yes.
80. We'll just say 80 to 100 grand in that property to get it to retail shape. So just off the top, they want 52. We'll just say 100. We're at 150. The ARV is 165. Just off the top, that's not a deal. You know, when people have fire damaged properties like that, they've already gotten their money or whatever. Right. Now they're being greedy. You know what I'm saying? So, because you're gonna have to be gutted. I'm sure it's smoke damage all over it, right? So it's gonna have to be. It's just gonna be a total rehab at its finest or whatever. So that really needs to be like a $10,000 property.
Right.
So they're in la land on that price. But they want what they want, you know, so, and that's why I would explain it to them. I say, you know it's going to cost 100 grand to fix this house, right? You know what I'm saying? We're in business to make money, right? I say, you know, you can say it in a jokingly manner. I'm sure you already gotten that insurance check, right? And they may have gotten a check for 160, and I don't know what they owe or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But so that's the way it's going to have to be approached.
Okay, thank you.
All right, no problem. Thanks for growing. Where are you all located?
In New Jersey, but the property is actually in Norristown, New Jersey. We're actually closing on another one today.
Okay. You're already wholesaling.
Yes.
Okay. Well, do you mind sharing what the takedown is today, or that's confidential?
No, we're gonna call you later.
Actually, we're gonna give you a call later.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. That's what's up. Okay. All right. Congratulations, guys, on your deal, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All righty.
Okay.
Back to TikTok. User 78 said, would you start wholesaling real estate business in this pandemic when people are struggling to pay rent?
All right. Someone from TikTok asked, would you start a wholesaling business in this pandemic because people are struggling to pay rent? It's sad, so sad, especially for someone that's had it and, struggle with it. But at the end of the day, bills still got to be paid. Deals still gonna happen. This is a perfect time to start wholesaling.
How many days should the inspection period be?
I normally don't like to do less than 14. I normally throw 21 on there. If they trip about it, then I'll go down to 14. I'm gonna at least get that.
Drew Lenny on TikTok asked, will you be releasing more videos on YouTube regarding commercial real estate?
Just in my thought process, I don't have anything planned on it, but you never know.
And then same guy asked, how do you appraise commercial property without going through an appraisal company?
Well, that's what I was speaking of earlier. He's asking, the first question he asked, will I be doing more videos on TikTok for commercial real estate? And I got to get an answer. And then he said, how do you come up with a value? Do you need an appraisal on a commercial property to come up with a value? Number one, that appraisal is going to be very expensive. So no. Again, you have different types of commercial properties, and most of them are based off what income they can produce. There are going to be some other factors that go into getting to that number, but that's normally you're going to use your NOI, cap rate, and price. So just do some research on NOI, which is short for net operating income, and cap rate is short for capitalization rate. Just do some research on that, on the type of properties that you may want to target as far as commercial, and that'll give you an idea of coming up with a value, because that's normally how most commercial real estate is valued, on how much money can I make on it monthly, annually, and over a course of time or whatever. So.
Okay, I think this person's asking where they can get the contract from, but also does the contract say I can back out if I don't find a buyer in 30 days?
Well, first, someone asked, how can they access my contract? And does it have verbiage in the contract to say that they can back out within the 30 days or whatever? Okay, first, on how to access my contract for free is do a YouTube search for Flipman 2021 contract. As far as the verbiage in there, there are a couple of things in there, but the main thing is they keep your earnest money. Basically, if you don't close, to avoid that is the due diligence period. Say you do a 40-day contract from the date you sign to the date you say you're going to close on it. You may do 21 of those days that you're going to have a due diligence period, which gives you the option to back out of the contract, get your earnest money back. Within that time frame, you can find a buyer for it or whatever. But assuming you get beyond that date, then the remedy is they keep your earnest money. You go their way, they go yours. I mean, you go your way, they go theirs. So.
Brandon Walters on TikTok asked, if I can't find any comps within a mile of the property, what should I do?
Normally that's not a good thing. You can go back in time versus keeping extending out. You normally don't want to cross over any major highways or whatever. You try to stay in the zone so you can go back another year and see if you see anything. But normally that means it's going to be hard to find cash buyers for a property like that. And remember, guys, if you want to join us live and get pushed to the front of the line with your questions, you can go to flippanard.com and you'll be able to get your, ask your questions on the live stream with me.
SoCal86 on Instagram asked what happened with the Do You Later CRM.
SoCal86 asked what happened with the Do You Later CRM. I was premature. Is that the right word? Yeah. On when it was ready. So it should be ready by tomorrow. So I'll release another video saying, hey, I screwed up. Here it is, guys. My web guys wasn't ready. They were still working on some of the back end things, but I thought we were going to be finished on the 27th, and I didn't reach back out to them to let them know I was going to, release the information on it. So.
Tequila on TikTok asked, can I still wholesale a home with an auction date?
Tequila on TikTok asked, can they still wholesale a house with an auction date? Did we post a video before we started this? Did we post a video when we started this?
I don't think so.
Yeah, go ahead. You said before or during or? So can you wholesale a home with an auction date? Well, technically that's in a pre-foreclosure state. So yes, you can. I've done one last year like that, and we came close to the actual date. I think we're only 2 days out before we completed the deal. So it is possible if, obviously it boils down to the numbers working. So yeah. But we didn't have to go through the short sale process either. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Amber Ward on TikTok said, "What's the best
We don't have one.
place to use when you send a contract to a title loan?"
Go ahead and send the link to that one so I can see. You know what I'm saying? You can do the same thing on there. It's probably already in there. All you gotta do is just pull it up. Yeah, just pull it up. Yeah. All right, say that again. I'm sorry.
Amber Ward on TikTok asked, "What's the best place to use when you send a contract to a title loan?"
Okay, Amber on TikTok say, "What's the best place to use when you send a contract to a title company?" I guess what they're asking. I'm not sure what she mean. The best place to use.
Maybe the best type of title company.
If you, young lady, that was a female, right? If you could be a little more clear on your question, I'm not sure what you're asking.
And then Clear Color Entertainment said, "Do you answer questions about rentals or just flipping?"
Well, I'm more of an expert on the wholesaling / flipping. I've done rentals, but I'll see. Hey, if I don't know them, trust me, I'm glad to say, oh, I don't know that. It's just like somebody asked about something earlier. I don't know. Oh, they asked about business lines of credit. I don't know. So ask the question. If I know it, I'll tell you what I know about it.
Louis Rosal said, "Hey, Flipman, I have a question. When there's 1 day left of the inspection period for your purchase and sale agreement, is it possible to turn in the contract assignment to the title company?"
All right. Someone asked a question that if there's 1 day left on your inspection period, your due diligence period, can you go ahead and turn the contract in to the title company? Well, ideally, my rule of thumb, you normally don't want to do that unless you have a cash buyer in place or whatever. Now, if you don't have one in place, but you think you can still get one with time left, then keep rolling to try to find a cash buyer. But you may want to consider, canceling that agreement if you can't kind of find a cash buyer for it. So.
This is from Jacob Miller. He said, "My question was on the buy and sell agreement. What do you put under the existing loans and liens since they're just estimates on PropStream?
No. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Should you change the cash to sell?
Put it up on the screen.
I can't because it's in the private jet.
Oh, we don't normally do those. You need to post it. He needs to put that in with everybody else or whatever. Yeah. But, yeah, we don't normally answer those. Put it in the public where everybody can see it.
Okay.
Is that ready? That one ready?
No, because it's too loud. It's like echoing.
Oh, you have to mute and you have to mute. Let me see it. Just put it.
Maria on TikTok asked, "How can I use other people's money for money down and closing costs on the house?"
Maria on TikTok asked, how can she use other people's money for closing costs and money down on a house? Now, I'm not sure what type of transaction are you trying to pull off. Is it an owner finance deal? Is it just a straight purchase where you have a lender in place? I would need to, you would need to be a little bit more clear.
See, all of it is off. It's just loud.
So that's okay. No, I don't hear it now. I don't hear it now. Testing. It's off, right? Yeah. Okay. So I would need to know what type of transaction are you talking about? Okay. Let me see.
It's off. I don't. It's just the echo.
Okay. That's right. Well, yeah, I would need to know what type of deal you're trying to pull off. Go ahead. Next question.
Is batch leads a good source for motivated sellers?
Yeah, most definitely.
And then Clear Color Entertainment has another question. They asked, "Are postcard mailers effective in your opinion?"
Yeah, but there's a method to the madness, though. I recommend if you're going to do a mass mailing, use some experts. The company that I would refer you to and that I use when I do direct mail, which is not that often, is Mail to Flip, MAIL, the actual number 2, flip.com. My man Ryan and Corey will be glad to help you with that.
User 21 on TikTok asked, what is the subject to?
What is the subject to? Oh, I know what it is, Jessica. You got me muted, right? Where's the other one? That's it right there. Okay, yeah. Okay, all right. Whatever. What is a subject to? Well, it's short for subject to existing financing. It is basically when someone is going to deed over the property to you, but the financing is still going to remain in their name. That's subject to. So you actually have ownership because they've deeded the property over to, they've deeded ownership over to you, but the financing still remains in their name until it's paid off.
Louis Russell on Instagram asked, how do you cancel an agreement?
Well, assuming the seller is okay with it, you send them over a mutual release agreement or a cancellation of contract, or cancellation of purchase or sales agreement, however it's titled. Just email it or however you're going to get it over to them.
Antics Up on Instagram asked, how long after I close the deal should I receive funds?
Normally the same day. Normally. I've gotten them the next day or whatever, maybe, normally within 24 hours, normally for sure. But normally the same day.
And Kareem Michael asked, can I wholesale a house that's already under contract?
Can you, Kareem Michael asked, well, the question before that, how long do they have to wait on their money after they've completed a deal? And this question was, what now? I'm sorry.
Can I wholesale a house that's already under contract?
Kareem asked, can he wholesale a house that's already under contract? I guess he means with another wholesaler. Yes, the largest operation in the country, which is Keegley, my man Jamil Demji, that's how they run their business. That's how they do most of their deals is through other wholesalers that already have them under contract, and they just place a cash buyer with them. Yeah, and that's the freest way to probably get into the business is you create a cash buyers list and you reach out to other wholesalers and feed your buyers list, and both of you all get paid. So most definitely. We're trying to do the same thing with dealyoulater.com. So if you have a deal, you want to partner, submit it to us. It needs to be under contract, dealing directly with the owner, off market, and a great deal.
All right, Fabian Martinez asked, is it best for the seller to find a title company or have the cash buyer choose their own?
Fabian from I guess YouTube, is it best for the seller to find the title company or have the cash buyer to choose their own deal? All right, now, yeah, okay, good. Okay. All right. No, you never, never allow the seller to choose anything. That's on you and either the cash buyer to choose who closes the deal. That's a huge no. Can't allow them to control the deal like that.
Is it better to wholesale with an inactive or active license?
Alexander on YouTube says it's better to wholesale with an active or inactive license. Well, it can't hurt to be an agent as long as you have the investor mindset first. It can't hurt or whatever, because what you could do is properties that don't make sense for you as a wholesale deal, they could turn into listings. So, and that would be a lot of them. So, because most people are going to want to sell for more than what makes sense for you as a cash wholesale deal. So that could be listing opportunities. But because you're already doing it, if you're doing the proper amount of marketing, which that's going to be different levels, but you're doing enough marketing, it's going to get so many leads that are not going to be wholesale deals, but some of those could turn into listings, which, the check still on the cash good or whatever. So.
All right, Fabian Martinez asks, do you provide soft proof of funds? If not, what websites do you know of? Listing agents usually ask for proof of funds.
Well, and back to what's the name? What was that last? I can't remember what it was. This same dude, or this somebody else? Okay. Do you provide soft proof of funds? If not, what websites do you know listing agents usually ask for proof of funds? Okay. Well, yeah, we got one up here, realpof.com. If you need proof of funds. I'm going to always side on doing something, but I strongly advise newbies don't go down that rabbit hole of trying to deal with properties that are listed, dealing with agents. Just a whole different ball game. If you want to know what I really mean about that, just go to YouTube and do a search for Flipman, Flipman, how to wholesale houses using realtors. That was a recent video that I uploaded about a week or so ago, and I go into detail on it or whatever. So, but if you want to do that, realpof.com.
All right, this is from Relentless_V. She said, do you use a purchase and sale agreement with the end buyer or an assignment contract? What's a good opening statement in cold calling? Thank you.
All right, Relentless VLC, I think, _VLC. Do you use a purchase and sales agreement with the end buyer or an assignment contract? What's a good opening statement when cold calling? Okay, the first part of that question, I use 2 purchase and sales agreement. Normally, the one that I, give away for free is what the seller and buyer use, but I'm okay with a cash buyer bringing their own contract to the situation, to the deal, as long as it, doesn't conflict with my contract or whatever. So I don't do an assignment contract. Only time an assignment contract is used is you have a title company with a stick up their butt and they just force you to use it or whatever, or a closing attorney. The other part of that question was an opening statement on a cold call. Now, there are different types of cold calls, but just to generalize, you call them, hi, my name is Ty. I'm calling to speak to the owner about buying their property at 123 Main Street. Do I have the right person?
All right, this is from Shabazz Bowman. He said, can earnest money deposit be paid with transactional funds?
Chaz Bowman's, can earnest money deposit be paid with transactional funds? Normally, when transactional funds are in the mix, the deal is basically done. You already have a cash buyer on the contract. You have a seller in the contract first. You have a cash buyer on the contract, and the deal is done because I guess you're trying to prevent the seller and buyer knowing you get paid using transactional funds, but you're beyond the earnest money deposit once transactional funds, and they're not in it to provide earnest money deposit. Everything's negotiable, but I'm just telling you what I know about it. So.
All right, Jamie Greer asks, can I use the same number to call to text flex? So the same number to text flex and phone call.
Well, I guess you could, but that wouldn't be the proper way of doing it. Proper way of doing it. If you want to know how the proper way of sending out text messaging is do a search for Flipman text to flip. Text to flip is one word, TEXT, the actual number 2 flip, FLIP, all one word. It's on the screen. Oh, she just put it on the screen.
Ziani Moore, that's a cute profile picture. YouTube, she said, do you wholesale lease options?
Ziani Moore says, do I wholesale lease options? I've done 1 or 2 over the years. It's a great way to capitalize on properties that don't make sense as far as a cash wholesale deal, but for a lease option, it may be perfect, but it may not be a deal you want to stay in, so you remain in the deal. So you'll just set up the terms, and you can wholesale that out to either an investor or maybe someone that actually wants to live there.
All right. This one came from Facebook user. They said, what if they ask for proof of funds for the commercial properties, even if you don't have nothing?
All right. Facebook user says, what if they ask for proof of funds for a commercial property, even if you don't have anything. Well, it could be a deal breaker. No different if they're asking for a price that doesn't work for you. If you don't have those resources or someone to partner with to provide proof of funds, then it's a deal breaker. Move on to something else.
All right, Dion Christian from YouTube asks, when doing comps and the year built are more than 5 years apart, how many years can we go forward and backward?
All right, Dion says, whenever doing comps, if the year built are more than 5 years apart, how many years can we go forward or backwards? Well, each one is going to be different, but what you do is just go to nearest and best at that point. I'm going to try to look at the properties that are still the years that are nearest to that, and still the same square footage. I'm still trying to look for nearest and best at that point. Hopefully, I'm still not crossing any major highways, so nearest and best. We're not set up for that, so we're not set up for that. Sorry.
What's the name of the video to learn how to plug in the numbers for learning ARV?
Well, yeah, we have the comp show this evening. We should have had last week, but I had something to come up. Comps 101, the show is at 6 p.m. Eastern, where we do it on screen or whatever. But I don't even remember what the question was. What is?
What's the name of the video to learn how to plug in the numbers for learning ARV?
2 videos you can look. The question was what's the video where you can learn ARV? Look up Flipman Comp Like a Pro on YouTube, and look up Flipman Free Calculator. Those 2 videos will get you going in the right direction.
Hunter on TikTok asks, do you physically have to go into a title company, or can the title transfer to wholesale be remotely?
The question was, Hunter on TikTok, do you physically have to go to closing to a title company or a closing attorney? No, you don't have to do it. It just depends on how it's set up, but you don't have to physically go, and they can just wire your money or overnight your payment with the check or whatever. So I think we've been rolling about it now. So yeah, so guys, we've been rolling good. We got a lot of other stuff to do. Plus, we got some other lives today. This is probably the busiest day of the week for me with everything. Make sure you like and share this. If you're on TikTok, follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok. Both follow me. Subscribe to me on YouTube. Remember, you can get a free copy of the contract that I've been using since 2003. Just do a search for Flipman 2021 contract. If you want a JV, you need a cash buyer for your deal. If you have it under contract, it's off market, it's a great deal, and you're dealing directly with the owner, we can partner. Submit that to digulator.com. That's digulator.com. Forgive me about the CRM yesterday. That announcement, I was premature on that, but it is coming in the next day or so. So hold on. Say what? Oh, yeah. If you didn't get your question answered, you can always post them in the comments section of any of my YouTube videos. Doesn't matter how old it is or how new it is. And I answer those on a daily basis. So, if you don't know already, everything you literally need to know about wholesaling is right there on my YouTube channel. So you have literally nothing to lose whenever the knowledge and training is free. See you later. See you later.
Flipman. It's the Flipman. You want some money in your hand? Flipping houses without credit or your cash.